All right, two P's in the bong in the building again. It's your boy DP.
It's your boy KP.
And trying to figure out what I've done to deserve this. It's your boy Bong.
Hey, who was your Super Bowl pick, man? Bong.
Huh?
Who was your Super Bowl pick, man?
Yeah, huh?
Right. Huh? Huh? Huh?
hey,
Like my
hey, hey, look, I know why you wasn't ready to commit to it though.
like
When I was trying to get you to commit to it early. I know why.
like my kids be saying, huh?
Right. When
Man,
they know what's up.
this
Oh
some
man.
bullshit.
Oh man. That was a one-sided affair. Like straight up, man. I thought it was about to be some shit going on with that early AJ Brown offensive pass interference call.
Oh, the world was ready.
Yeah, yeah,
The world was ready. They already had they shit lined up talking about, getting ready to say the referees is in pocket.
yep, yep.
Um, but
Hey,
it is what it is, man. I expected more from the Kansas City Chiefs,
mm-hmm.
being that they have the best quarterback in the business, one of the best head coaches in the business,
Mm-hmm.
and to be very very honest with you, a few things happened tonight.
Let me know.
That defensive line was greater than the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Vic Fangio outcoached Andy Reid, and um, the term defense wins championships came home to roost.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the defense got busy.
Yeah.
The defense killed. Like Patrick Mahomes didn't have time to do shit except for get sacked.
6 sacks, 3 takeaways,
Yeah, yeah. I
two
mean,
interceptions. First time since the San Francisco 49ers did that in the Super Bowl in 1989.
yeah. Most times he has been sacked in his career, also, I believe. Um, but yeah, I mean, a couple of the guys we highlighted before in some of the prior shows. Um, we talked about Cooper DeJean. We talked about
It was his birthday. He got a he
Happy,
got a
yeah, it was
yeah,
got
happy
a pick
birthday.
six. Got a pick six on his birthday.
yeah. Oh man, and it was Saquon Barkley's birthday too, right?
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
it was both of their
Not
birthdays.
not not the not the best day individually for Saquon Barkley, but I'm sure he's happy with the chip,
He didn't have to do
regardless.
anything.
Yeah, no. And they were focused on
Stopping the
making sure they
run.
stopped his ass, you
Yeah,
know.
stopping the run.
Um, but yeah, I mean, like I say, we highlighted Cooper DeJean, we highlighted Zach
Bond, Bond,
Braun,
Bond.
Braun, I'm sorry, Braun. I'm thinking of oh boy from Denver, as I say that. Bond, we highlighted him. He got the key interception, put them in the red zone right off top.
Yes.
He
Yes.
should have.
Um,
He should have. He could have and should have won Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, he continues to make plays right into the playoffs. I mean,
mhm,
he has some key. He has some key. He has some key moments in the NFC Championship game.
mhm,
He obviously uh, stepped up and had a key. Had a key play in the Super Bowl as well. Ah,
mhm,
man, this was a
mhm.
masterclass, bro,
And
and
Yeah,
this was
for
a
very
sure.
and he was a free agent in the offseason, right? Wasn't he another pickup?
yeah, he was a
Bond,
pickup.
yeah.
Yeah,
And I
he was
think
another, yeah, free
and I
agency
think
pickup.
he was playing a different a different position, or maybe a different linebacker position,
Yeah.
when he came over, and they kind of moved him over to the position that he was in.
Mhm.
So they converted him to something, to something else. Again, at the end of the day, I'm a Cowboys fan through and through. You see, I still got my Cowboys paraphernalia on, as much as
Mhm.
I hate these motherfuckers. But what the Eagles did from the start of the season through the Super Bowl was a master class in how a top tier organization is run.
Mm.
Yeah.
They put together a team that regardless of the dysfunction, basically could not fail. There was too much talent
Yeah.
all over the field.
Yeah.
They put coaches in the
Bunch of
right position.
athletes.
They had, I mean, so as far as like the and then you have a coach that nobody believes that Nick Sirianni is this great coach, but
You
you
know,
had
Will
because when we think when I'm glad you said that. When we think about like lineage, we talk about, oh, this guy's from this tree, this guy's from this tree. Which tree is he actually from?
I think
Which
he
coaching
actually
tree?
I think he actually came from he was in Indianapolis at some point
But what Wright
under
was the coach then.
Frank Reich.
Yeah, he was the coach then. He missed North Turner
mm,
in was it San Diego? He was in Kansas City first. And
yeah,
he
that was
mi-
the first place he
and
was. Yeah.
he missed Andy Reid.
Yeah, he was there for
And
3
in San
years.
Diego, he missed North Turner. Like I think he was under Cronell when he was in Kansas City. So it's like
So,
who do
but
you really connecting to?
I think his claim to fame is uh the tush push is his creation.
Okay.
Mm.
So he was, I guess he ran it, some variation of it, at one of his last stops, and so he brought that over to Philadelphia. But again, regardless of that, what I'm saying is, I would
No, I
not.
just thought it was cool because you
Yeah,
brought that up, and it's like he's
yeah.
And
proven now for
I
sure.
wouldn't. I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I wouldn't classify him or look at him and say like he's a top tier head coach, right? That's
why
just
not? Why not?
Even
hold
now,
on. Listen,
He's been
listen,
to
listen.
two. Okay, okay,
Hear me out,
okay.
because I feel like the organization has basically put together the rosters. He has no say in his rosters. He has no say in who the offensive coordinator is. He has no say in who the defensive coordinator is. He has no say in the personnel. So what is it that he does?
He coaches.
Right, he's a figurehead. So again, he doesn't coach the offense, he doesn't coach the defense, he doesn't coach the special teams. Last year, when the offense and the defense didn't look good, the front office got rid of him and brought in new guys and said, "Hey, these are your new guys." The last guys, they were your last set of new guys, but you had no say so. We just run you out there, and essentially, and again,
what do
I
you mean
won't
he
get
has no say so in?
in
In
who
play
they bring
calling.
in,
Okay,
who
okay,
they
okay,
bring in, play
Okay,
calling, in any of that stuff, right?
okay. Yeah.
But and again, I don't want to. I promise you, I do not want to make this at all about the Cowboys. But it's almost like he's doing it. He's doing what Jerry Jones has been trying to do for 30 years. Howie Roseman in Philadelphia has done what Jerry Jones has been trying to do for 30 years, as saying, I'll put together the coaching staff. I'll put together the pieces. I'll have the say so in what gets done and who does what. But I'll get out the way and let my guys do what they're supposed to do. I'll get the best guys for each, for the defense. Vic Fangio, that was a hell of a pickup,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Say what you want about Kellen Moore, who is we'll talk about it later, but he's about to be the head coach for the New Orleans Saints. He's essentially agreed to become the head coach for the New
Hmm.
Orleans Saints after this game. He brought in an offensive coordinator. He brought in a dynamic running back, a dynamic game changing running back behind a top 3 offensive line. And then they just rebuilt a defense that was trash just last year. Just
Two
last
rookies.
year.
Two rookies in the secondary now.
Just last year they was trash.
Hmm.
And they just rebuilt that shit. They had the pieces in place already. You know what I'm saying? But they really needed a architect of a great defense. And Vic Fangio, ended up being that. And it's just, I mean, it was just a great way to show how you run an organization from top to bottom. Top tier program, man. Can't deny it. I can't hate on it. even though I hate on the win because I hate the team.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, I feel you. I'm not mad at it. I picked the Eagles to win. Um, I was actually uh rooting for them, and it sounds crazy because I am a Cowboys fan, but I wanted Jalen Hurts to get the dub, man.
Yeah.
And I'm happy he got it. I know they're gonna say, yeah, it was the defense that that made it happen. They did put them in good positions. They short fields and stuff like that. But he did his thing, dog. Like, and I was looking at how they ran to Sirianni and interviewed him
Hmm.
first, right after the game. And I was like, had this been Patrick Mahomes on the three-peat, they're running straight to Patrick Mahomes to interview him first. Um, so I mean, I was kind of
Defense.
like, yeah,
Go ahead.
nah, yeah, I was kind of like, man, go find Hurts. When they
But
did find Hurts, though, I was like, come on, man, give me something better than that. The interview that he had at the post game before he was up there with Terry Bradshaw. But at the end of the day, I still don't think cats are gonna really give him respect like that. But hey, man, he got his chip. Respect to him. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy for him. I was rooting for him, dog.
So I
Shout out to
was
Jalen Hurts.
I know that the defense played their ass off. So let me start by saying that Philly's defense, um, their front four pressure Mahomes all night. Mahomes was shit running around like a chicken with his head cut off, trying to make plays. Receivers dropping passes. Um, but in addition to that, I do want to flip it around on the other side and say that Jalen Hurts played a hell of a game as well. 17 for 22, 221 passing yards, 2 TDs. He did throw the one interception. He had 11 carries for 72 yards, and he had the brotherly shove for a touchdown as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Um, he outplayed Mahomes.
And a lot of
And
his runs came when they were blitzing him, man. He was like
yes,
the X factor for that
absolutely,
blitz. Like,
absolutely. So
I
and
mean,
he outplayed Mahomes, and now you go back and you look, and they've played. They both played each other twice in the Super Bowl. It's 1-1. But you look back and you look at the individual quarterback, and one would say that this is the second time in the Super Bowl that he's outplayed Mahomes. The first one didn't translate into a win for him, but he's outplayed him twice.
I wouldn't disagree. He had a really good game when they lost. Yeah.
Yeah,
he, can y'all hear me?
yeah, I hear you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. He had a great game. He had a great game when they lost.
Hmm.
This game he had about two or three passes that that were difference makers.
That
Four if you
Devontae
add
dime was a
four if you
perfect
add
pass.
the first one that they called back for offensive pass interference.
Hmm.
Right. So he made plays, but um again, a lot of the stuff that he made would be it's like he didn't wow you because again, the defense, their game plan was to stop Saquon. So a lot of the stuff that he got, you didn't see, he didn't have to throw in any tight windows. It was a lot of AJ Brown one on one. He's just running up the field and beating a defender man to man. There's because all the additional bodies were set to like, hey, listen, if we're gonna lose, we'll tip our hat to Jalen Hurts if he can beat us, and but
And
we're
he
not gonna
did.
lose. We're not gonna
Yeah.
lose to Saquon.
Uh,
Nah, he did
uh,
again. Jalen Hurts could have had 4 picks. Jalen Hurts could have had 100 yards. They were not winning this game because the Eagles' defense, like all that stuff they did late, the 21 points or the 20 points. I don't know if it was 20 or 21 that they eventually scored. Like, all that shit they did late, it didn't mean
yeah.
anything, bro.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. No, it
for
didn't.
a
Yeah.
It didn't.
majority of that
You
game,
talking about Kansas City, right?
Yeah. In the
correct.
At the
fourth,
end.
in the
Yeah,
fourth
yeah, yeah.
quarter,
Yeah. It didn't
quarter,
matter.
they put up
It
22
didn't matter.
points in the
A
fourth quarter.
majority of that game, they had a donut.
Yeah.
For like damn near 3 quarters, they had 0 points.
Man.
Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid had 0 points. I there was nothing that the offense the Eagles' offense was in cruise control. Everything they gave them was a bonus. They could have won that game 7-0.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the
Yeah.
defense was that dominant. And the last time I seen Mahomes look that bad was against Tampa Bay in the Super Bowl when he lost 60% of his offensive line going into that Super Bowl game. This year, I mean, the Eagles didn't send any exotic blitz packages. They rushed 4. They were getting home with
Bull
4.
rush.
Oh, hey.
Mr. Bull Rush.
Listen. Last time we spoke, I said that's what they do. They rush 4, drop 7, and that D line creates chaos. And the dude that I was trying to remember was Milton Williams.
Mm.
Where last time I was like, oh, it's a guy who lines up on the right side because I
Was
was
that 93?
93 because I was talking about
Okay.
Jalen Carter last
He
time,
got the
and
he got the sack.
Williams
He got the sack in the
he
third
had
quarter,
two,
right?
he had 2 sacks.
Yeah, he
He
had
had
one
2
in the
sacks
third
this game.
quarter.
But really quick, man, Ubong, to your point, of the struggles of that Kansas City was having. Engineer says, and shout out to Engineer, Mahomes had 24 yards going into the first half and proceeded to stat pad in the fourth quarter. So, yeah, I thought it was 24, 20. I thought it was 23,
23,
something like that.
23,
23
yeah,
yards.
23, yeah, 23.
That's in the first half,
Yeah.
23 yards.
And the funny thing is, I don't even think they were stat padding. I think they were trying to make it look respectable, right? And again, all the things that I think, even the stuff that they got late, Philadelphia probably eased up.
Yeah.
Philadelphia could have shut all that shit down because I mean, yeah, they got Xavier Worthy, and again, I remember I can't remember the last time we talked about it.
Hey, the
Oh, yeah.
the follow up from Engineer. That's stat padding, Bong. Hey, Engineer, I was getting ready to say it's stat padding, but I was like, I'm gonna let him rock out.
Oh my gosh! And even yes. Shout out to
Hey,
my boy
shout out
Austin,
to
man.
Austin. Austin is Bong's son here. A little bit earlier today, Austin. Shout out to you. Good to see you here. He says the Eagles defense is the reason they won.
This is true.
I
This is true.
disagree with you.
Hey, now
You are
remember.
your father's son.
um, hey, engineer having his way today. Hey, listen, man. Hey, man, heavy is the head. But remember what I was telling you a couple weeks ago, and we had a little discussion about it. Patrick Mahomes isn't playing with any top tier. He's not playing with any top 100 talent except for
Yeah.
Travis Kelce.
Yeah,
He has Travis Kelce.
he didn't have 1,000-yard receiver this year. He didn't have 1,000-yard rusher this year.
Okay.
And Travis Kelce
Now,
looks like a shell of himself.
and
But no. But with that being said, I still have to give him Travis Kelce because when it mattered, a lot of times Travis Kelce did come along for the ride, right? But now in a game where we really needed a Tyreek Hill, we needed a prime Travis Kelce to really be a difference maker. He had Juju Smith-Schuster. He had a young, inexperienced Xavier Worthy. He had an over the hill DeAndre Hopkins. I'm looking at DeAndre Hopkins on a
Fourth down.
gotta have it
Yeah.
first down, or was it fourth down?
It was a fourth down. It was fourth down.
It was
Yeah.
fourth.
Well, no. It was a
dropped
gotta have it. It was a gotta have it fourth down for a first down, right?
Yeah.
And this is like a catch that when he was with Houston or one of his other stops, he would have snagged it with one hand, 3 fingers.
Yeah.
Say,
He drops the second hand,
hey,
and
it looked kind of crazy, right?
I'm looking at it like, bro.
Say they gave him the prize pick lines in his ears, huh? Like, nigga, you can't get more than 2 receptions.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it like, bro, like that was a routine catch for you. Like, what happened?
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
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 Hey,
like
Bong,
it was-
before you go on, can
Yeah.
I ask you a question? Because you're talking about the talent and everything of Kansas City's receivers and all that. There was a point where you were talking about Patrick Mahomes is getting all his weapons back and he's getting this and he's getting that and this and that. I mean, that's
Right.
kind of
So I
where we
yeah,
at.
I was expecting what I was expecting a little bit more from um yeah, listen. Austin and my son said Xavier Worthy would be a top 100 receiver
Okay.
Wait.
or a top
Before you go
100
to that,
player, I would assume. Yeah,
before
but
you go to that, go back up to engineer said two things. He said a couple things.
yeah. So engineer says that this is why I pointed out the penalties. They scored about 48 points in the divisional and championship rounds off penalty saving drives.
Hmm.
And then he also said, "I'm not trying to bash him being Mahomes at all. He's awesome, but it was clear the offense could not get things going um, organically." Um, and again, I was expecting. So when I said, "Hey, he has weapons coming back," I'm expecting Isaiah Pacheco to be, somewhat what he was.
Not sure
Um,
what was going on with him, man.
the before he got hurt, I was expecting Hollywood Brown to come back and be a factor in the offense. Xavier Worthy obviously being there. Um,
Hmm.
Juju Smith Schuster was just a bonus or just a
Yeah,
little something
yeah.
something added on top. But again, Xavier Worthy, a couple more years. Hey, Austin, I believe, and I believe he meant to say he'll be a top 100 player in the next 3 years. I believe that Xavier Worthy in that Kansas City offense with Patrick Mahomes, with Andy Reid, depending on how long he decides he wants to continue to coach, and with Rasheed Rice, a healthy Rasheed Rice, if he
Hmm.
comes back and he's a semblance of what he was
That was
before
a
the
big blow.
injury,
That was a
that
big
that
blow for
that
them.
hurt absolutely. I expect that offense to look different, and I expect Kansas City, being the organization that they are, to retool and build around the greatest quarterback in the NFL right now, Patrick Mahomes.
Bong,
Yes,
Bong.
sir.
Will Xavier Worthy be Tyreek Hill like?
Absolutely. I think
Okay.
so. I
Well,
think he can be. Now, remember in the beginning when Tyreek Hill was first, ingratiated into the league, he was a Pro Bowl kick returner. He wasn't. He was a gadget guy. He was like a
yeah,
specialty guy.
yeah.
Tyreek Hill um, was somebody who took his craft very seriously. He built himself into
Hmm.
a top five, top three wide receiver,
Hmm.
um, and and I believe that you know I think Xavier Worthy, with what I've been told is the environment, right? The football environment in Kansas City where it's all about football
Hmm.
and winning championships, having Mahomes as the person that's, like his Brady or his Manning. Yeah, he has no choice but to get better or get waived. So,
And and to point out, Xavier Worthy had 8 receptions for 157 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he caught all of his targets. So he was targeted 8 times. He caught them all.
yeah. Oh yeah. No, he was definitely, and again, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but he is their best skill player. He was their best skill player coming into the Super Bowl, right?
Hmm.
A
Yeah.
rookie known for just being a speedster, being your best skill player coming into the Super Bowl, that was asking a lot when on the other side, offensively, you have AJ Brown, Devontae Smith,
Hmm.
Saquon Barkley,
Yeah.
one of
Yep.
the
Yep.
best O lines in football,
Yeah.
and and again, I'm not disrespecting Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts to me is a good, not great quarterback. Not even a really good quarterback, but just a good quarterback. He can make all the plays that a good quarterback should be able to make. Right?
And
He's
he
an
got the
omega.
job done.
Shout out, root to the bros. But I have no. I'm a fraternity brother of mine. You feel me? Like, hey, I root for the fraternity to
Come
do
on,
well.
come on, come on. Get it out.
Jalen Hurts, hey, Jalen Hurts, Jalen Hurts being one of those. But again, and I don't know where or how my fandom got that way, but it's not the Eagles. The Eagles as an organization, the Eagles as a team is one that the Cowboys should aspire to be. but it's the fans. It's the people that you got to talk to on a day-to-day basis. It's the people
Mm,
that you have to
mm.
interact with, the people that start talking that nonsense. Those are the people that drive the hate. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
as
Uh,
far as an organization, the Cowboys should wish that they could one day, you know, touch the hem as the
To stop the
the
bleeding. To stop the
touch, just touch the hem of the Eagles garment, all right? You
gotta
dig?
stop this. Gotta stop this 30 years of bleeding.
hey, they reaching out for the him with the little arm like something about Mary.
Oh
Hey,
man.
I have
uh,
to get biblical on y'all real quick, man.
Oh
Just the
man.
hem, bro. Just want to touch the hem of the
uh,
garment, man. Come on.
hey,
It's out of
yo,
Oh
pocket.
man.
You
um,
Um
dig?
man, so you mentioned something Bong earlier. You mentioned Nick Sirianni and
Yeah.
that he's a good coach. You didn't say he was an elite coach. Going into this,
come on, Kevin
what
Fitzpatrick,
no, no, no,
come
no.
on,
Going
okay.
going into this, Andy Reid is the all-time winningest coach in
Mm-hmm.
Philly
Mm-hmm.
and in Kansas City. Most
Right.
would regard Andy Reid as the greatest Philadelphia Eagles coach, right? He didn't win a Super Bowl in his 14 years there. He made one Super Bowl appearance in 2005.
Here we go. Hit
Nick
him.
Nick Sirianni has only been here a couple of years. He's made two Super Bowl appearances in the
Mm-hmm.
last 3 years, and he's won one. If he gets back to the Super Bowl in his tenure in Philly, will he be the greatest Philadelphia Eagles football coach? Will he surpass Andy Reid?
He will
I mean,
have.
well, mm, does the Super Bowl kind of do
Well,
that? I
I'm
know Andy Reid was getting busy, but he didn't win the chip.
he also has the highest winning percentage
Yeah.
in the team's history. He does that too. He has that too.
Okay.
And I believe he has
Again,
the most regular season wins.
All right.
say what you will.
Fitzpatrick, baby. Kevin Fitzpatrick, baby. Hit him
Say
with them
So,
stats.
say what you will about Nick Sirianni.
mhm.
Again, on a day like today, I have nothing to say. I don't know. I'm telling you that his team was well put together. He was not a part of the construction of that team. He seemed to be more a part of the dysfunction than the good things that happened with the team.
Mhm.
So, the good things about the team was that tremendous defense. He had nothing to do with it. Um, a good thing about the team was that great O line and that running game from Saquon Barkley. He had nothing to do with that. He did not advocate to bring Saquon Barkley in. He had no say in bringing Saquon Barkley in.
So
That's
is this
that's
so is
interesting
this
that you
like
say he
a
didn't. Oh,
is this
go.
like a Dan Campbell type situation? Like his sort of how people view it as a more management role type with the Lions.
But Dan Campbell is also, I mean, well, yeah, maybe Dan Campbell's a motivator. But what we'll see Dan Campbell's importance and Dan Campbell's role, and whether he moves the needle as far as whether they do well or not next season, because he has lost his offensive coordinator,
Right.
he's
Mhm.
lost his defensive coordinator, so he's starting from scratch. Right
Mm-hmm.
now, something tells me Dan Campbell is probably has more say so in regards to the replacements on the roster and who comes in. But again, Detroit is has been in the basement. They're the stepchild. They're the
Yeah.
basement dwellers. Do they have? They're not. They don't have what the Eagles have, right? So if you brought Dan Campbell in, you have success with Dan Campbell. You're going to allow Dan Campbell to pick his staff and do what he wants to do to try and make things happen. as opposed to the Eagles who can tell Nick Sirianni, we know how to win. We won before you,
Mm-hmm.
right? We brought a team in with you. We almost got to the doorstep. We fell short by a couple plays. We can retool and surround you with a team again. So Nick Sirianni, just enjoy the ride. We go back to his if you go back to Nick Sirianni's original interview, right? He interviewed with the Philadelphia Eagles to become the head coach. He
Mm-hmm.
was coming back from a wedding or a honeymoon or something like that. He came to the interview, bro didn't have a suit. So the Philadelphia Eagles reportedly dressed down and like he had like some, Hawaii. He was coming from Hawaii, so he's wearing like shorts, little button down Hawaiian shirt. So everybody, to make him feel more comfortable, dressed down in the interview in some non-formal gear so that he feels comfortable in the interview. Then you go look at his initial press conference, his first press conference where he was fumbling and stumbling over words. That's not a head coach. They basically said we can put anybody in this seat. What did Jerry Jones
Mm-hmm.
say? Jerry Jones said there are 500 coaches that could coach the Dallas Cowboys and win a Super Bowl. The Eagles basically showed you, no, there's 500 coaches that could come in and coach the Philadelphia Eagles and go win a Super Bowl because they had what's the head coach that was there that won the first Super Bowl?
Doug Peterson.
Doug
Mm-hmm.
Peterson wins the first Super Bowl, and they fire him. They bring in
Yeah,
somebody else. Go
got
back
his
to
ass out of there, which
exactly.
in no time. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Hold on, gentlemen. Let me get a charger.
Yeah, got Peterson out of there in no time. Which I wonder, which I'll ask Bong when he gets back on too. I wonder if Sirianni hadn't won this time, and there would have been two trips to the Super Bowl, two fruitless trips to the Super Bowl, right? Do
Mm-hmm.
you think the Eagles would be looking to move off of him the same way they did with Peterson? Because that didn't
No,
take long.
no, no,
Okay. I mean, it's
because
crazy. It's
because
crazy.
because you bought in a first year offensive coordinator. You bought in a first year defensive coordinator. So if they get you there within the first year, you're thinking, okay, we've got something. We'll be back soon.
Yeah, but how many years did Peterson coach the
Hmm.
Eagles?
I have to look that up.
Come on, Kevin Fitzpatrick,
This guy.
because that would make me think like, okay, if they gave him that short amount of time after he actually won a Super Bowl, what would happen to the guy who lost two Super Bowls? That's a case you don't have to deal with now because obviously Sirianni just got his first. But had he not won, would it be crazy to think like, oh, they'll be looking to move?
And he coached him for 5 seasons.
Yeah, I mean, in 5 seasons, you get a championship and how many playoff appearances?
Um, Let me see. Playoff appearances.
And that
And,
and I
and he won the Super Bowl in his second season as a head coach.
okay.
Uh,
And Bong, I just asked KP if Sirianni had been in a situation where they lost and he made two fruitless trips to the Super Bowl, would they be looking to move off of his ass since they moved off of Peterson so quickly and he actually won one?
I'd say that yeah, that's not out the realm of possibilities because again, they be looking for somebody that can add value to the position. And I don't know if you guys addressed what engineer said. Engineer said something in the comments. Um, you know,
What,
um,
every position having superstars or about their drafting?
both.
Yeah, I mean those go hand in hand.
They are
Yeah.
they are so well run top to bottom, and My kids, man. I look, gotta they support their pops, man.
Yeah, shout
Yeah.
out to Aiden. What's up, Aiden?
I respect it. I respect it.
Shout out to you, Aiden.
So what was I saying?
No, you were talking about the players and how they draft, and before you go into it, defensively, right? And I've been saying this. I've been saying this, and not just because it's the Georgia Bulldogs. Y'all know I'm a Georgia Bulldogs fan. But Georgia, for their championship runs, what were they talking about? The defense on those teams. And the Eagles have been plucking players from those defenses.
Yeah, and it's I'm envious, man. I'm envious. I'm jealous of the organizations. Nah, man. I'm serious. I'm envious of the
Oh
organization
shit.
that really take football serious and are really out there in an arms race year after year to
Mm-hmm.
be the best in the game, to be the top dog. And it's always going to be San Francisco,
Mm-hmm.
the Baltimore Ravens, the Kansas City Chiefs, as long as they have Mahomes. Even you saw the Kansas City Chiefs on that trajectory before Mahomes got there. They had Andy Reid. They just had Alex Smith. They needed a quarterback, and even then, they'll always laugh at the Buffalo Bills because that pick that they traded up to get,
Mm-hmm.
they traded with the Buffalo Bills.
Mm.
That's the Buffalo Bills pick that got them Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So you think about that, right? And now he been kicking their ass up and down the street every year,
And,
right?
and to be honest, do you even think the Bills would have picked Patrick Mahomes with that pick? Probably not.
Probably not.
You know?
Exactly.
It's
Again, so you
crazy.
have, you have the Kansas City Chiefs, you have the 49ers, you have the Ravens, you have the Eagles, you
Mm-hmm.
have now the Lions have entered the conversation where it seems like they're trying to be a contender. But it's always the same 5 or 6 teams that are going to be standing. And then now the Texans are coming along. You know what I'm saying? Let's see how long if they can really build that out after um, let's see if they can really build that out after CJ Stroud is no longer on his rookie contract.
Mm-hmm.
You have the Cincinnati Bengals that apparently, people believe that they were coming into that upper echelon, but now that it's time to pay a few people, T. Higgins may not be there next year. What does that
T.
team look
Higgins will not be
like?
there.
Okay, yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now Burrow has lobbied to have T. Higgins stay in the fold, but with the way that he was treated, I don't think he's going to give them any discounts, and I don't think they can afford to pay him. So I'm
No.
with you, EP, that he won't be
Yeah.
there.
Um,
And then what about the Pittsburgh Steelers?
before you go
Right.
there, I wanted to answer DP's question. DP, you asked me how many playoff appearances did the Eagles make while Doug Peterson was the head coach, and the answer is three. In 2017, they won the Super Bowl. In 2018, they lost in the division championship. In 2019, they lost in the wild card game. So those were the three appearances that he had in his 5 years.
And
And
then the
his
2 years after that, they didn't make it.
just in 2020, his last year, he didn't make it.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
he they went like four. They went 4-11 or something like that. 4-11-1. He got fired, and then in 2021 they won the wild. They were a wild card team, and they've been making the playoffs ever since. Ever since they got rid of him.
Okay. All right. Uh this is engineer is shout out to engineer, man. Engineer's a day one.
Yeah,
Um I wanna I know Bong, you'll have something to say about this because he's speaking on the Cowboys, right? Um and he says, with the utmost respect, I would bend any hope of Dallas being a serious organization. I followed them for a while, just as virtue of being in Texas. But not once have I seen Jerry actually care about winning. It's about the money, which is respectable. That's his investment, but you have to accept the reality of it. And I
I
think that's in response to, you hoping that Dallas would be something of what some sort of a semblance of what the Eagles are. I think that's him saying that in response to that. Like, will they ever even get back to the glory days, which are 25 years past? Go ahead, KP.
Well,
You were saying
yeah, I
something.
was I was gonna let you know. I can talk about
Yeah.
that. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you go.
I mean, we've got a ton of shorts on it. Ubong talking about this and talking about this disgruntled marriage he's been in with the Cowboys, this love hate relationship he's got. Um, but you said it tonight. If Jerry can just touch the hem of the garment, but he's not trying to touch the hem of the garment because as engineers saying, and as Bong has said for many, many years, is that it's about the money.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's about everything else except winning Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, and I'll say this, man. I've held out hope that they would change their ways, but at the end of the day, um, they're more about, and when I say they, I'm talking about the Cowboys.
Hmm.
They're more about um, trying to win the headlines in some odd, obscure way, right? Like Micah Parsons said to Jerry Jones, he beat Jerry Jones to the punch, and he said, "Listen, I don't have to be the highest paid. Get my deal done so you can open up some cap space so that we can focus on bringing in free agents." The day of the Super Bowl, a leaked story comes out saying, "Oh, there's been discussions inside of the Dallas organization that Micah could be traded." CD
Hmm.
Lamb responds, "Y'all aren't tired of this? Every season, every off season, top of the charts. Let's just win ball games." And that's with number 11, shaking my head. He's talking to the organization.
Hmm.
Like, bro, y'all do it. It's the same shit. Y'all did the same shit with CD. Y'all did the same shit with Dak. And then you're going to drag it out all summer, wait to the end of the summer, pay the man, pay
Hmm.
the man, and then say, hey, man, we got all our money tied up with Micah Parsons. We couldn't sign any other free agents. There's only so much pie. I keep telling you, they love to talk about this invisible pie, right? There's only so much pie to go around, right? So we paid Micah, we paid CD, we paid Dak. Jerry Jones said, Jerry Jones said that it's he for all the people that say that he doesn't care about winning right now and he's not spending to win. Like, he just paid Dak Prescott. So he keeps throwing Dak's contract out there. Like, yo, what do you mean I didn't spend on free agents? I paid Dak Prescott. I made him the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. Again, Dak Prescott's a scapegoat until he retires and the
Hmm.
next quarterback comes in and he's the new scapegoat, like
Mm.
Tony Romo was before Dak.
I-
It's the same. It's rinse and repeat, Jerry. We know the game. Every fan knows the game, bro. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
2025. We're too educated. Google will allow us to go inside the numbers and show you that the Eagles spent money and they could push these other contracts down the road. And all it's going to take is one bad year to reset, and you can do the same shit all over again.
I could, I
Hey.
could, I could hear Jerry saying, "We just paid Dolly Part. I mean, Dak Prescott the money."
Hey. 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 Quick sidebar. When you mentioned Micah Parsons, it made me think of this. Did y'all see Warren Sapp walk out of that radio show when our
Warren
boy was
Sapp's
talking
an
about?
idiot.
Did you see it? Where he was
He's an
talking
idiot.
about Micah Parsons was an elite pass rusher,
Yes.
and he
Yes.
said something about like, yeah, he gets like 15 sacks a year, and he was like, he what?
They,
Look it up, and he
they
walked
were
out.
asking. They were asking. Um, they were asking him about Travis Hunter and Shador Sanders, and I
Mm-hmm.
think he was saying like Travis Hunter, um, Travis Hunter something, Shador Sanders, Cam, what's the boy's name? The other quarterback,
Ward.
Cam Ward.
Cam Ward,
Hmm.
right? So then they said something about Abdul Carter, which is the DN out of or the linebacker out of Penn State.
Hmm.
So he's like, man, what about the rush in out of Penn State, Abdul Carter? And that's when Warren Sapp stuck his foot in his mouth. Part one. He said, who's the last great pass rusher to come out of Penn State?
Yeah.
He replies, well, Micah Parsons. He was like, Micah Parsons? What has he done in the league? And
Hmm.
he's like, well, he has, has he got like, 14, 15 sacks a season? He was like, yes, he has. And he was like, what? Okay, I'm gonna end it on that. Like he didn't believe that what that Micah Parsons has had the career that he's had. And that just lets me know, Warren Sapp, you haven't watched football in a while. You're not tapped in like you should be. So, let it go, man. But again, I don't even want to make this about the Cowboys. I'm just telling you right now, the Cowboys are not about winning. I wish Dak Prescott would have just not re-signed and just
Hmm.
hit free agency, went to the highest bidder, went to a program that actually cares about winning. But he, like many others, is willing to continue to try and bang their head up against. It's it's John Henry fighting against the machine, man.
Hmm.
Hey man, I'm humanly strong, and I'm gonna beat this door down, faster and better than the machine can. Nah, you can't beat the machine. You
Yeah.
cannot beat the machine, sir.
Okay.
Jerry Jones, the Dallas Cowboys are the machine, and every player that comes into that organization thinking that they're going to be the one that's going to get them over the hump, Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott, just take them out, put in DeMarcus Ware, Dez Bryant, Tony Romo, uh, DeMarco Murray. Like, I mean,
The list goes on, man.
it'll
Yeah,
never
it
happen.
goes on. It goes on. And they were talking about. I saw some stuff about possibly trading or trade talks about Micah Parsons, but we ain't. That's another story. We'll talk
Yeah.
about some of that
So to
later.
my son,
But
no, we have
back,
not let go of Micah
yeah,
Parsons.
he's still around, but there were some
They're
stories
just
about it.
stories. Absolutely.
So back to the Eagles. Another sidebar. KP,
Yeah,
is that a Michael Vick Eagles jersey?
it is.
Okay,
It's Vic. You know,
okay, just wondering. All right. Um, any other takeaways from the Super Bowl, man? Any highlights? I know Josh Sweat was another player on the Eagles defense who was getting busy. He had a couple sacks
the
and was
Celebration between Sweat and Hunt back to back.
yeah.
That was top tier.
Oh
That,
yeah.
that was
Hey,
very top tier.
and another celebration. Check this out. Did y'all see Jameis Winston in any of the like Super Bowl interview
Absolutely.
buildups? So
Absolutely.
if not anything else, Jameis Winston is entertaining, man. He's
Yeah.
entertainment.
Yeah,
So
Jabu.
so he told Brown if he scored a touchdown to do the electric slide to the left, slide to the right, and crisscross or whatever. And he did it. Like he actually did the celebration, and there was like I don't know who's it was on social media. I don't know if it was Jameis Winston's page, but he was like, I told him to do that celebration, man, and he did it. And they went back to the clip where he said, listen, if you score, I need you to do this for me. And he actually did it. So it was dope, man. But
And engineer is a nutcase for what he's
Right.
saying about me, knowing that I'm wearing
Hey,
this Michael Vick jersey.
got that dog in
I
it.
ain't gonna say it. Oh, come on,
Not
engineer.
to not to be outdone, not to be outdone by my son, who knows that I'm an Omega, and he says that I got that dog in me. Hey, shout out to my 8-year-old man. No
hey, they gonna roll with pops,
Yeah.
boy.
way.
They are gonna roll with pops.
Hey, so but yeah, so hey man, shout out to the
Uh,
Eagles.
One more
Love.
thing. You mentioned about the defense, and you were like, Jalen Hurts would have they could have won the game 7-0. I'll tell you what. They put another KP in the game, Kenny Pritchard. Pickett, excuse me. Kenny
I'm
Pickett.
like,
They put Kenny Pickett in.
you-
I don't think Kenny Pickett could have won that game
No, no,
at
no.
quarterback.
No.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think you could just put any old body
Anybody.
back there. Like,
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Listen, again, no disrespect to Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is driving a Ferrari. I mean, he's got it all. When you say like, who's got it, who's is it Jim
yeah,
Harbaugh?
who's
Who's
got it
got it
better
better
than
than
us?
us? Yeah.
Right.
Nobody.
Yeah.
When they talk about that, um, Jalen Hurts literally had the world at his like there when he went in there. I told you, the Eagles had too many. The Eagles had advantages at every position except for quarterback and head coach. Head coach gets outplayed, gets outcoached by defensive coordinator. One of your advantages.
Who's a vet? Who's a vet?
Who's a
Let
vet?
Yeah, been coaching 40 years.
Absolutely. So one of your advantages is gone. Mahomes, um, let me call it what it is. And again, he didn't look good.
No, he didn't.
So for everything that was wrong with, the offensive line was bad, like the picks that he threw, I mean,
And,
those are just bad throws.
and he almost threw another one early.
One he stepped in though to the lineman, the one that he threw to the linebacker. He's going to throw, and and the lineman just gets drove into him, so he couldn't even step through.
Listen,
No,
I've
I'm just
seen,
it's not like it was just an arid throw. Like
I've
he's
seen
got time and he's that one was the tough one.
those are the plays that everybody on ESPN and all the guys on Fox Sports will tell you that routinely Mahomes will just throw it behind his back or no look. And when he gets
Yeah.
to those situations, he didn't. Again, I'm a huge Patrick Mahomes fan. Excuse me. I'm a huge Patrick Mahomes fan. I
Mm-hmm.
call him an honorary cowboy because his 3 Super Bowl wins, he has kept the San Francisco 49ers 2 times from winning a Super Bowl and the Philadelphia Eagles 1 time from winning the Super Bowl. So I respect him. He's done more good for the Cowboys than the ownership group has. Okay? Just from a fan standpoint, because those are teams that we didn't have to sit and listen to their fan bases after those years talk that shit. This time, he didn't have enough, but he looked bad. I don't want as much as I come in here and I sing his praises today. I must say that the
And
throws
I
were bad.
and I respect that because I was circling that point to say before we wrap this discussion up is that everybody has all great things to say about Mahomes, rightfully so, right? I said they be glazing. Bong said, question whether they do or not, but they be glazing. My son was like, yeah, they be glazing. Um, but the thing is, everybody has a time where they just don't, it's just not their day, right?
Mhm.
This wasn't his day. And on top of that, like you had that defense that was making it a problem for him. They made it not his day. And Jalen Hurts today was the better quarterback. And however it played out, when he was pressured and had to deal with his stuff, wasn't as much as Mahomes, but he made the right plays. As you've said throughout the year, Bong, he didn't put them in a situation where he lost the game for them. or
Correct.
or or even kept Kansas City in it,
Correct.
right?
And
It
here's the
was
fun.
go ahead,
Hey,
go ahead.
the funny thing is, for what it's worth, Kansas City's defense tried to hold they tried to hold the line and
Mhm.
hope that Mahomes would come along.
Yeah, they
Right?
did.
They get a stop first, then they give up the touchdown, then they get a pick. Like that's still a 7-point game after
Yeah,
3.
they
Yeah.
weren't bad.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
weren't bad.
Yes.
The thing was when Mahomes had his turnovers, they were just in bad spots, short fields, and that put them in a bad position.
And
But the
you had 5 punts.
yeah,
You could get past the 50-yard line.
but I mean, listen, let's be real because we were talking about the reason why Philly has been on this, on this train is because the conductor is Saquon Barkley. Like he's the one that's been really making the push, right? He's the X factor, their superstar, if you will. And if their plan was to shut him down or contain him, hey man, they did that. Like he couldn't break any big runs, right? And it's just that
And
defense was just too much for Mahomes, man. It was too much. Like
one,
he,
oh,
no, I'm
I'm
just
sorry.
saying. You talk about
Yeah.
Andy Reid and he's great. Mahomes, he's great. That defense said we don't give a fuck about that shit and came out and smacked that nigga in the mouth.
One other thing, man, I want to shout out Saquon Barkley. Most rushing yards in a season, including playoffs, all time, 2,504 yards. So that's worth noting. Hell of a season for Saquon Barkley.
Hey, um,
Kevin Fitzpatrick, baby.
you're talking. When you talk about, you were mentioning that that the field position was a problem. They showed a stat when, I think in the fourth quarter, it was
Mhm.
either the end of the third quarter or the beginning of the fourth quarter. Kansas City had just crossed the 50-yard line.
Yeah.
We had the stat that said how many plays were ran in the other teams
Side of the field. On the other, yeah.
side of the field. It
Yeah.
was 22 plays the Eagles had run on the Kansas City side of the field to one
Mm,
Kansas City going
that's
into the
crazy.
fourth quarter,
Yeah.
right? So you spent three quarters of the game not being able to get past midfield, and um, I don't think. I mean, check this out. The Washington Commanders put up more of a fight than the Kansas City Chiefs against the
Oh,
Philadelphia Eagles.
the LA Rams did.
The LA Rams in the bad weather.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The inner so for all that was being said, remember what was being said all year that all the talent resided in the AFC and
Hmm.
the NFC was so bad that they couldn't do this and they couldn't do that.
And they
Kansas
were only
City,
giving the Lions love.
Kansas City walked through the AFC like butter, like knife through a butter, like butter knife through butter. But when they got to the Super Bowl,
A hot
the
butter knife through
NFC,
butter, baby.
it ain't even got to be hey, listen, a lukewarm butter knife through butter. But when they got to the Super Bowl, that NFC team, which had been tested by the NFC playoff teams, was just looked way better. Just
Yeah,
and that's that. Um, I'll say you wanna address some of engineers.
yeah. I was just gonna say, really, he just kind of summed it up with this, you know, their season, in this Super Bowl game. Saquon did his job, and Jalen picked up when called upon. I mean, that's pretty much, you know,
The story of the
what it is.
Philadelphia
Yeah,
Eagles.
yeah. And but again, shout out to Jalen Hurts, man. I'm glad he got it. I'm glad he got it. Like,
Absolutely. Um,
and maybe he'll be talking this shit more after today, because today he was just real graceful with it. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
motherfuckers been talking shit about him. So
apparently Nike released the ad after the Super Bowl with Jalen Hurts addressing all the haters. I didn't see it,
Yeah.
but I was on Bleacher Report and they said that
okay,
Nike
Jordan.
released.
Jordan.
I'm sorry, He is a Jordan
Yeah,
brand athlete.
Jordan.
So Jordan released an ad on his behalf.
okay, I'm
Um,
gonna have to check that
to,
shit out.
to engineers last point, he said he hadn't even thought about the Giants fan today. They might be on life alert. And I'll say this, engineer. Saquon Barkley wouldn't have been the player that he was this year if he was on the Giants, because the Giants are not a well run organization right now. They're one of those old, I look at the Giants, um, and I look at them as one of those franchises that's that old money, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the Dukes brothers, Mortimer and what's his brother?
Randolph.
Randolph.
Randolph and Mortimer. Hey, hey, but still, listen. Rightfully so, though, with that comment, because you let Saquon go, and he goes to a team in your division,
Yeah.
and
That means
then
you
they
had no
go
fear.
right, and then they go and win a Super Bowl. Like, what are you doing? Like, and then you see how the whole shit played out, and the hard knocks and the all that's like that was just bad, man. That it was just bad. So
There you go,
say
say Breeze.
breeze, say breeze in the
What's good with it,
building.
say Breeze?
Say
Absolutely.
breeze to
They got that.
to Bong's point. Giants and Bears, that old money type. I feel it, Bong.
Absolutely. That's that making bets for $1, betting on betting on the player's life for $1. Ooh, we man. Hey, listen, man. The league is changing, man. You gotta evolve with the league as it is. Like those teams that choose to stay stagnant, that remember what they were for the Bears, it was what we were in the '80s, right? With that Mike
Yeah.
Ditka, the Mike Ditka Bears. With the
Mhm.
Yeah.
Cowboys, is what we were in the '90s. With the White House Cowboys, and I don't mean the White House on Pennsylvania Drive. I'm talking about the White House in Dallas, across the street
Where
from the old Texas Stadium.
they had them hoes.
Exactly,
Mhm.
exactly. You know what
And
I'm
where they
saying?
had them hoes in the White House with that white powder.
Exactly. That powder. Uh, you know what I'm saying? So if you continue to live in the past, and with the Giants, you talk about, oh yeah, absolutely. Cowboys definitely fall into
Yeah.
that category.
Yeah,
The
oh for
Giants,
sure.
they
They are
lucked up.
they really in that
The
category.
Giants lucked up and got Eli Manning and an old school coach in Tom Coughlin, right? And it just worked. It worked until it didn't,
They had a
right?
good they had a really good defense as
They had a
well.
very
That
strong.
front four was ridiculous.
Mhm.
Exactly. OCU Manura,
Had a running game.
Strahan.
Strahan.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely. They had some guys,
Hey,
but
they had a running game. Go ahead
yeah.
and say the
that's
Jacobs. Which Jacobs is it, Kevin?
Oh yeah, hey baby, it's Josh Jacobs. Nah, it's Brandon Jacobs.
Brandon
It's
Jacobs,
Brandon
baby.
Jacobs.
Jacobs.
It's Brandon Jacobs.
Yes, and Tiki.
Yeah,
They had Tiki
yeah.
Barber.
They had Tiki.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, but
yeah.
Hey, Bong. Um, earlier you said you were about to say something about Pittsburgh,
yeah,
and I want to circle back to that. But before I ask you that question, I wanted to ask both of y'all. It's hard to say to make a projection now. You just came out of the Super Bowl, right? It's just
Yeah.
over. But motherfuckers always put the numbers up like here are the odds for who's gonna win the Super Bowl in 2026 and all this stuff. So anyway, who is in a better position going forward from this game to next season?
Oh, that's easy. That's Philadelphia.
Philly.
It's it's easy. They have all the pieces. They're young. They're only going to get better. They had rookies out there,
Yeah,
and the rookies were playing like veterans.
and guess what? One more thing. They've probably fleeced other teams, so they probably have high first round picks
Right.
going into this. They'll probably bring in Abdul Carter. Somehow they have the fifth pick in the draft or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like they they are a well run organization, and right now I have Philadelphia coming, barring injuries or any kind of setbacks. I have them coming out of the NFC, and um, I think unless the Chiefs can make some big wholesale changes,
Hmm.
it's going to be hard for them to come back out
Of
as
the
as,
AFC.
as they're currently constructed.
Okay.
There's too many teams that are better than them. They just got them off of. They got the AFC. They got out of the AFC off of championship grit and fear. Right.
Hmm.
It was Tiger Woods wearing the red shirt coming into Sunday.
Mm.
Every time Patrick Mahomes steps on the field, AFC opponents get scared, right?
Mhm.
Coaches start overthinking things, players start overthinking things, trying to do things instead of just doing your job, trying to do more than you
Mhm.
have to,
Mhm.
and costing them games.
Yeah. And yeah, and a few points in the chat. Engineer the penalties. The penalties killed Kansas City.
No, no, no,
Like,
What are you
no,
talking
no, no,
about?
no, no.
He's
He's
talking about in the
talking about
past. He's talking about the AFC in
right.
the
I
oh,
was
AFC
okay.
talking
playoffs.
about how
No,
they were coming out of the
Yeah,
AFC and
yeah,
how everybody's scared of Mahomes, and he's saying, and
yeah,
also the penalties because
yeah,
of the referees.
yeah.
I
no,
got you.
to no to and that may be true. That may be true. Today, also, the penalties killed Kansas City. Every time they made plays, they got a holding call.
And they were
They get
legit.
yeah, no, they
They
were
were
legit
legit.
calls. They were legit calls, but it's
Yeah.
like every time they got some inkling of some type of momentum, they got a penalty. And they got dumb penalties too. Like even on defense, where the late hit on Saquon Barkley wasn't the biggest hit, but it kept the drive going. Like
That was a bad call, but I mean,
it was a bad call, but it's like, dog, just don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but anyway,
The
um,
did you hear Terry Bradshaw during the interview?
afterwards
Oh, when he
with
was
Sirianni,
announcing and he was like, "Run the shit, just run the shit back."
yeah, yeah. Hey, I wanted to. I did have that question about Pittsburgh, but um, so engineer had said earlier when you were talking about the old money and stuff. He said, "I wonder what the revenue difference is between being a top team in the league and being at the bottom. I wonder if some of these mom and pop ownership don't see any point in investing more." And say Breeze to that point says the engineer's point, I'm pretty sure the Bears ownership only has its money because of the team, which would make sense why they are stingy and afraid to spend.
I agree 100%. And the Cowboys fall into that same category, say Breeze. Jerry Jones' money is tied to the Dallas Cowboys. They are consistently the bottom spenders when it comes to free agency, right? They rank over the last 8 years like 26th. And this is an average. So there are years where, so this past year, they were 32nd in spending in free agency, right?
Wow.
And the difference between what the Cowboys spent, I think it was something, and this is like, outside free agents, not re-signing your guys.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they spent like 18 million at like the 32nd spot, and like 31 was probably like 70, 80 million, right? Like it was
Mm-hmm.
a huge gap between them and the 31st team, but it's just, you know,
And that was what that was the majority of that was spent on Ezekiel Elliott. Was that was that Ezekiel?
Oh man. Uh, but as we've seen, it don't matter what you offer these dudes in the NFL. It ain't like the NBA where the contract is guaranteed.
Yeah.
They don't put the guarantees on it like NBA does. You're starting to see it a little bit more with higher guarantees, but I mean Ezekiel Elliott still has some bread left on that contract when they told him to hit the road or hit the road, like my
yeah.
grandmother would say. So Bong, what were you gonna tell me about or tell us about Pittsburgh earlier? Is it
I
about
was
the
saying that
quarterback situation?
no, I was saying that Pittsburgh is um, one of those teams that is always in contention. They don't have a quarterback. They've decided that they're parting ways with. Oh yeah. We get into that. We get into that. We just gonna wrap this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We
Um, but the Steelers have decided they're parting ways with Russell Wilson. He will not be back. There's some discussion on whether they want to bring back Justin Fields. At this point, if you see a guy that is in the draft that you think is your guy, package some shit and go up and go get your guy.
Mhm.
Stop fucking around. That's the one thing about the Steelers. Ever since Ben Roethlisberger, they've been fucking around at the quarterback position.
Mhm.
Stop doing that. Stop. It's not working. Like, go get your guy. This is a nice quarterback draft, right? If you got a
Mhm.
Shador, you got a Cam Ward, like, go get one of your guys. But we'll see how it plays out. But
Yeah.
you know,
Um, so let's just get to it, engineer, because we were moving to that. So, man, the NFL said Kendrick, Kung Fu Kenny, K. Dot, go do your stuff. We got your back. If that lawsuit come in for some shit that you did on this stage, we talking about old money. The NFL got that old money, baby.
Don't worry
Oh,
about
money.
and don't worry about getting taxed. We bought in Uncle Sam.
We brought in Uncle Sam,
Hey,
Samuel L. Jackson. Yo, listen. So there were some people. There were mixed feelings about um his. I guess his lineup kind of leaked, right? I guess his lineup kind of leaked, like his set, like what he was gonna, his song set. So this is what he actually performed, right? So Squabble Up, Humble, DNA, Euphoria, Man at the Garden, Peekaboo, Luther, All the Stars, Not Like Us, right? And he was teasing with the Not Like Us throughout the performance, right? And
Absolutely.
and the creativity, Kevin, like you said, the Samuel L. Jackson situation was really creative in my opinion. The whole thing, I was vibing with the whole set. Um, the new album that he just released, the most recent one, GNX, right?
Hmm.
So he had the Grand National on stage,
Yeah.
right? And it's always like you gotta, like, when you're an artist, they like they do different shit. Like his jacket, Gloria, that's a song from his album. Like, if you know what he's saying in Gloria, I think it's kind of speaking to like success and like him just kind of the things that he has to sacrifice and the things that he's done and to grow in his art form and all that stuff. That's kind of what that song was about. But again, the jacket said Gloria. He's got the Buick Grand National. And just one nugget on that, and then I'm gonna let y'all roll. The Grand National, right? It was made from I think 82 to 87, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
87 is the last year, and the GNX, that was like the souped up version of the Grand National. So it could be so many meanings and double entendres and triples or whatever in that. Because even when people spit bars, they got double entendres, triple entendres. But
Yeah.
that in itself could be, hey, 87 was the last year was made. He's the last of a dying breed.
He was born in
He
87.
was born in, yeah, he was born in 87. Like, it's a lot of like nuggets and all of this stuff. But I thought the performance was great. I text y'all, and I told y'all like that shit was dope. Um, but I'm gonna let y'all tell me what y'all felt about it, man.
There was a point where I was disappointed in the performance. No, well, not disappointed in the performance. I was disappointed with the audio. It sounded muffled in like I think it was Humble. I think Humble kind of sounded muffled, and whatever the second song was, they kind of sounded muffled. You could tell that they were fixing the audio
Mm-hmm.
because it got better. But that was the only part of the performance that I was disappointed with. I thought that the audio could have been better. Compton in the house, man. Serena Williams.
Serena Williams, man.
Saw Serena Williams make that
Yeah,
appearance.
Serena Williams.
I thought it was clever. I thought the Uncle Sam was clever with
Yeah,
Samuel L. Jackson.
yeah,
I was
yeah,
like, oh wow, this is Uncle Sam.
yeah.
Damn, okay,
And
okay,
it
Sam.
was it was really a set like centered around Kendrick. Like, really, I mean,
Yeah,
he brought in SZA late, but
yeah.
it wasn't like heavy featured. Like,
No, it
I'm gonna
wasn't.
bring this person. I'm gonna bring this person. And I gotta highlight what Say Breeze just said, right? So
Yeah,
he's like, not gonna lie, I'm sad, no Mad City and no swimming pools. It felt man. So that was the sentiment that I was talking about. There were some people like, man, you're not gonna perform? No, Mad City? You're not gonna perform none of that? Like, and I
Mm.
think Joe Budden was one of the people who was talking about it. Like, nah, this can't be this can't be the set. So say Breeze, you're not alone with that, and that's kind of those are some of the vibes I was hearing about it.
So here's what I'll say. Kendrick Lamar is deeper than rap, bro.
And he
Yeah,
The
said that in the
he's yeah,
beginning.
yeah.
the symbolism, the nuance, like the little stuff that you had to, the tiny things you had to pick up on.
The American flag
The American
formation.
flag, right? Uncle Sam was black.
Mm-hmm.
Now, now if you in all of his, in his albums, he talks about his Uncle Sam. You talking about
Mm-hmm.
the government or whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
his relationship with Uncle Sam or whatever, right? Donald Trump was in attendance. Like it was so many nuggets.
Mm-hmm.
It was so many nuggets,
So
bro.
many. That's
And
what I'm saying,
so
man.
I was at a house and we had kids, and the kids were basically singing like every song word for word. So I didn't even get a chance to really. I'm still gonna probably sit with it tomorrow and actually watch it again, sit with it or whatever.
Mhm.
But I like the way he teased "Not Like Us" a couple times.
Throughout the
Yeah.
whole,
What he
yep,
say about he gonna sue?
yeah,
Uh,
they gonna sue.
right. So
I want to do their favorite song, but it's something like that. But they gonna
Yeah.
sue. Yeah,
right. So he said, what was it? Let me see. I'll get that shit actually, which was actually funny as hell. But he said so anyway. I'll figure it out. I'll find it. But what threw me for a loop when I heard it was Euphoria. I said, hold on. Oh, is he going there?
yeah,
So
Yeah.
yes.
once I heard Euphoria,
You knew it was going down.
oh, I said, not like us coming.
You knew it was
You know,
going down.
Euphoria is not something that you even you don't even put that one out.
I
You don't even.
felt the same way.
I said, I'm in a house and I'm here. Kids, he comes in the middle of Euphoria, so he doesn't come from the top. So it took me a couple seconds to be like, I know I've been drinking, but is that
Yeah,
Euphoria?
yeah,
He
yeah.
playing Euphoria. I said, oh, okay. That's what we own. Then he teased Not Like Us a couple times. And then apparently everybody was saying A minor. Like, listen, bro. And then, they said that the A in his chain was
The-
from his PG Lang thing, but I thought it was also symbolism A
I
minor,
kind of thought it
right?
was too.
Lowercase
And
A.
I was like, okay,
I said Kendrick hit all the buttons, Petty Murphy all the way through and through. I'm not letting him breathe for a second, right?
even the end of
I,
it, the game over situation at
I
the
Yeah.
end.
knew he was performing it.
You
Yeah.
did,
I said it. I said it in our other
yeah,
episode.
you
Yeah,
did, yeah, you sure did,
absolutely.
you sure did, man. So what y'all were feeling the performance then, right? Like
Feeling
I
is
mean,
an understatement.
there's always gonna be mixed feelings,
Nah,
and
man, I loved that damn performance. He was spazzing out.
man,
Like,
he
oh
did
man,
his thing,
he
man.
was killing that.
He did his
He was
thing,
killing
man.
it.
Yeah.
Just
The
the
whole
whole
performance.
set, the
Yeah,
whole set,
yeah,
like
he killed that. He
Yeah.
killed that.
Yeah. No, that's wild.
oh,
But
hey, the engineer says the stadium saying A minor is a death sentence.
oh
Like,
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
hey, and my son was telling me like I don't know if it what has been released, but he said Drake put something else out. I was like,
No. So he has Party Next Door, right? R&B artist. He
mhm,
has something dropping on Valentine's.
Mm.
okay,
And it's like they've been teasing this joint album with him and Drake. So I guess he has a song coming out, and he just tagged Drake saying that Drake was going to be in the song that's coming out on the 14th.
okay,
So like I think
okay.
they're trying to find a way to get him back out there and make it a soft landing or soft takeoff, so like he can hey, Party Next Door, you got an R&B record, you're pretty popular. We throw Drake on there with a hard ass, with not a hard ass beat, but like with a good R&B beat, and let's
Mhm.
see
Yeah.
if we can pick this thing back up. But again, everybody that he's beefing with, the weekend just dropped his album is a
Who
banger.
Who is he not beefing with at this point?
But
Like
I'm
this
talking
nigga
about like
is,
he had like real Canadian beef with the
yeah,
week. But
no,
I'm
for
not even.
sure,
Let's not. It's not even about Drake.
yeah.
Drake, hey, the cherry on top. Serena Williams, Crip
Serena
walking,
Williams with the crip
Crip
walk.
walking,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I still gotta know the semblance
Hey,
because they had
hey,
the clown.
do y'all remember? We used to be at the lunch tables doing the,
Oh
The
yeah,
fingers, getting
oh yeah,
hype.
yeah,
but but I still want to know what the semblance behind behind like having all the guys come out the Grand National was. It's probably like 30 dudes popped out the car,
man.
clown car type shit.
um, I was thinking that in the beginning too. Like, um, yeah, it's one of them things. Like you said, I'm gonna watch it a few more times, man. I'm gonna
Man,
watch it a few more times
they
tomorrow.
had street lights out there, dog. They
Yeah,
were on the
Man,
street
it was
lights.
it was it,
and then the dudes doing the low key like doo wop type
Yeah,
situation where
it
he'll
was
yeah,
yeah
tough.
like that
It was
was,
tough. It was
yeah,
tough.
that
yeah.
was,
It was such a great production. And again, there's mixed. There's always going to be mixed reaction, right?
oh,
So
for everything, yeah.
so there were people that were saying like, "Oh, it was the worst. It was bland. It was mid. It was whatever." Like I didn't get that. Now
I
the
didn't
sound
either.
thing because of where I was at, I couldn't really hear the bad sound quality, but just the aesthetics, just everything, everything, bro. The street corner,
Yeah, I was
like
fucking with it.
Grand National out there. You bring Serena Williams out. Like SZA came out and killed her set.
Yeah,
Like, what are we
I,
talking about, bro?
yeah,
Let's
I
get
was
the
fucking
kick
with it,
the
man.
kick
I
I'd
the
was
fucking
fucking
actually,
with it.
tour off already. Let's
I'd
get this shit
actually
rolling.
venture to say that I liked this Compton performance of Kendrick more than the Compton performance that was in LA with Dre and the Aftermath artists.
This one was more creative.
The last Super Bowl performance you seen.
The one that was in California with
Yeah,
Dre,
yeah,
the
Yeah,
in
Compton
LA,
artist. Yeah.
in LA.
yeah.
Yeah.
This one was more creative. The only thing that really stood out to me about that LA show, um, that was like kind of creative was like 50 Cent doing hanging upside down like in the
in the
video, like
club,
it's
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
him
yeah,
in the
yeah,
in
club.
the
yeah,
club
yeah,
video.
yeah.
Like that was pretty creative. That was pretty cool. And then like him trying to get back up, you could tell he was old as hell because he had to kind of get down for that shit. You know,
and and
this is
wasn't it a thing where he wasn't even supposed to, like, there was some back and forth on whether he was gonna be involved or not, but I guess it was Eminem who said,
who
you know,
signed off
I
on it
ain't doing this shit unless he, you know, he's a
unless
part of
50
it.
was
So
off. Yeah. So
um yeah, but
but
definitely on the creative side of the game, like I thought this one was, yeah, this one was better in that regard for sure.
yeah,
Um
huh.
yeah, I'm fucking with it, man.
He says
I'm fucking with it.
my
Yeah.
my youngin says Drake should retire. Oh man. And the funny thing is his catalog. So Drake has run the music industry for so long that he's still one of the most, if not the most streamed rapper
Hmm.
on a
No,
lot of
they're
on,
saying he
on
is.
Apple, on
Yeah,
Spotify, on all the
Yeah.
streaming
yeah,
sites because he just has so many hits that have sat with people for so many years, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
The fact that UMG is he's in court suing UMG, who is the distribution company. Um, it's still it would take a lot to really. It'll take like a steady decline because he
Hmm.
still has his core fan base. He still has the people that love him regardless,
Yeah,
but he won't have the push that a lot of he won't have the push that he used to have. Right? Apple Music, right? Whenever Apple Music released sent out a post, and I think did I send that to y'all? I didn't
I
send
don't
it to
No,
think
y'all.
so.
no,
I'm,
no.
I'm sending it to you guys right now. Where this is Apple Music. Now Apple Music has been Drake's like I'm sure he has a deal with Apple Music or whatever, where they just posted on Twitter, they not like us. They not like us like 100 times. Apple Music halftime show.
Wow.
Like Apple? I thought Drake's
Wow.
your man. I thought Drake's your man.
Yeah, well, ain't he suing all of them?
Nah, it's just
Is it,
UMG. It's
okay,
just
just UMG.
UMG.
Okay.
Oh man, what's good with it?
Yeah,
Sleeve.
and matter of
George,
fact,
what's good with you?
what's going on, George? Matter of fact, Kendrick had an interview with Apple also. So I have to check that out. I didn't have a
It was
chance to
dope.
look at it.
It
It
was dope.
was.
It
It
was
was
with
cool.
Ebro. It was with
Okay.
Ebro. Yeah, man. And he doesn't really do interviews like that. So it was like a 30-minute interview. It was super dope. Just to kind of get the, you know what I'm saying, like his perspective. Like, if you think about it, man, this whole this whole Drake beef since the beef started, he did the pop out.
Mm-hmm.
He did an interview. He did an interview, a magazine interview that SZA did, right? So
Mm-hmm.
he was interviewed by SZA, and other than that, he hasn't really spoken.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So this is
And
like
then
one of
you know what? You
the
know what? The pop out. I think the way the pop out was kind of orchestrated and planned, and the creativity and that went into that was more of a I'm gonna put everybody on, like incorporate everybody. I'm putting the city on type deal, and I think he wasn't gonna do like have a some sort of a replica of that for this performance. You know
Yeah.
what
right.
I'm saying? So this is gonna be a deeper, like we gonna hit you with some nuggets, as we were saying in the beginning of this. Like
It's layers to
it'll
it.
be some thought provoke. Yeah, it's layers to it. It's gonna be some
Yeah.
thought provoking shit. And if you just tripping on the songs that weren't performed, then you're
You
not.
missed it.
Yeah,
You
you
missed it.
missing out. Like
Yeah, you missed it.
um. But
Uh,
let's see. George. Let's see. George says, "Have y'all?" And shout out to George. You just got in the building, y'all. Have y'all spoken on the performance tonight? Yes, we have. I'm sure y'all have. But again, what do y'all think about it overall? Quick recap. Um, I'm fucking with it, George. Like I thought it was a dope set. I mean, like we say in the beginning of it, there were some people who had mixed feelings about the song set, the actual set and the songs that were performed.
Yeah.
Some folks wanted some of his old stuff to be incorporated, which I mean I get it, but nah, the way it was laid out and
He's,
I was fucking with it.
he's got 15 minutes. You want to get some of that old stuff? Go see him in concert
Yeah,
when
go to his
he's there
concert.
touring.
Yeah,
this is the rollout for the concert. So, like I
and
said, let's kick this concert off. But
yeah,
to what to what
Absolutely.
to what DP was saying, there's never there's never gonna be a show where everybody gets what they want, because these artists, these huge artists, their catalog is so extensive that he, you may get a snippet, may get 10, 15 seconds or something. You may not get it at all, right?
right.
So I recently went to go see The Weekend, probably like last year, and he has such a extensive catalog. You're watching the show, and he's only getting to a percentage, and it might just be the bangers, and he might go into the cut for one. Kendrick had
Hmm.
15 minutes, but what he did, I'm just saying the aesthetics, man.
Yeah,
Like, the aesthetics was amazing. I think SZA killed that shit in her little small. She only had 2 songs, but
Yeah.
she killed that shit. Um, I think
What they weren't two full songs either.
exactly,
They weren't
exactly,
two full songs. Yeah.
yeah.
exactly.
It,
Yeah.
And and again, the two biggest things for me outside of like all the symbolism, Black Uncle Sam and all the
hmm
little stuff, the
hmm
American flag. It's often said, um, that that blacks built America. That black folks built America or whatever.
hmm
So like all his symbolism shit was in there, but the two things as far as like from the petty side that was fucking with me and I really felt was Euphoria being played
hmm
and him teasing Not Like
Not
Us.
like
He
us,
actually got into it,
and
right? Like
then
those
playing that shit.
Listen,
as engineer says, let's be honest. we all only really were waiting for Not Like Us.
Absolutely.
Listen, man,
And
we ain't
George is like the true story.
honestly, we ain't been this hype over a Super Bowl performance since the Patriots played the Carolina Panthers when it was Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake performing.
Right.
Janet Jackson, Justin Timberlake, and that titty.
That's exactly,
Oh, my bad. Are the
exactly.
kids still
No, no. Hey,
They might
hey,
be.
wait, we was living together at the time. Wait, we had the apartment.
right?
All you hear is whoa, whoa,
Whoa, whoa,
whoa,
whoa.
Yes,
whoa.
sir.
hey, hey, George, we did mention that too. That how he said I want to perform their favorite song, but they might sue. He was talking about Drake suing. That was dope. Um, the whole shit, man. Um, yeah, look. Hey, the sleaze in the now. Hey, not no longer George. Sleaze is in the building now.
Hey, we done bought out sleeves.
Yes, sir.
hey,
Yes, sir.
George. Hey, I was also talking about the it was dope how they had the Grand National on stage. Um Started the performance on top of the Grand National and everything. But yeah, it was dope, man. I fuck with it. I'm curious to see what other people will say about it and how other folks will receive it, like just to get an idea of how ear to the street, see how folks feel. But I personally, I'm fucking with it. And at the end of the day, like whatever I hear tomorrow and all of this other stuff, it's not gonna change the way I feel about it. Like I
Not at
fuck with
all.
it.
Yeah.
Not at
The
all.
vibe was there. Hey,
And and given that, I mean, you think about it, Lil Wayne wanted to perform.
Oh
And
man.
I thought about Lil Wayne. Like I was one like, man, yeah, Lil Wayne should be able to perform and he should bring him out. But in that 15 minutes, the way that he used it and worked the audience, it moved from song to song and transitioned. There was really no room for Lil Wayne.
Man, listen,
it's
listen.
Lil Wayne wasn't coming out there.
Yo,
There was,
and
there was no
and
room
and
for him,
and
man.
since you mentioned that, man, I wasn't gonna say nothing, but I saw, and again, I don't even know what to call the shit when you tweet now, X or whatever. I saw a motherfucker Xing. So Skip Bayless was Xing or tweeting, and this motherfucker said, and it's like, yes, Lil Wayne has befriended you. You guys have befriended each other. So now you feel like you all the way tapped in because you have his stamp of approval or whatever. But he's like, I'm not watching this halftime show. It should be Lil Wayne performing and all this other kind of stuff. It's like, man, shut up, nigga.
Right. And if you're not gonna watch it, just shut the fuck up and don't
Yeah,
watch.
shut up.
No
Like
one's
Like,
I don't.
watching your show. That's why
Right.
you don't have
So
one.
so here's the funny thing. I don't know if anybody's actually heard or seen Lil Wayne perform lately. Like he hasn't. He's not a. I don't know what he was in the past,
Hmm.
but what he is now, he does not have. He's not a good performer as far as like
Mm.
getting on stage and actually performing songs. Like his voice has deteriorated because of all the lifestyle. Um,
Because since it is deteriorated since the "I Can't Feel My Face" album, that
yeah,
yeah,
that,
you know what I'm
that
saying?
hit
Like
me.
it's over his his lengthy career. He's probably done a lot of drugs and a lot of alcohol and a lot of this and a lot of that. And I think his voice has suffered because of it. And he himself said he doesn't remember a lot of his lyrics because he doesn't write them shits down to begin with. So it's you know, I don't know if we would have got a great performance from Little Wayne if he was out there. And I think him coming out there, he would have never came out there with Kendrick just because of the optics for him and
Mhm.
his and Drake. So, you know,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Man, so,
don't do
so
drugs. There you
y'all,
go. Don't
y'all
do
know,
drugs,
yeah,
kids.
no, that's real shit. Hey, sidebar, y'all know I'm always throwing these sidebars out when y'all say stuff. It kind of triggers shit in my mind. Um, Bong, you just said something about Lil Wayne's voice deteriorating and stuff. Did you? So y'all know Beanie Siegel, one of the illest dudes.
Philly,
Um,
South
yeah,
Philly in the
Philly
building.
connected. Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
He's from Philly. I fuck with Beanie Siegel heavy. Back when he was fucking with The Rock and Jay-Z all in. He got some bangers. But I think he was shot and had, I think his lung collapsed, so
Mm-hmm.
it messed with his voice. But he has, I think he was working on a project where he's going to use AI
Mm.
for his voice to like put out some new stuff. I think that's actually a dope way to use AI, right? You have people mimicking other motherfuckers and doing shit with AI, but this would actually be a dope situation for him to use his own voice to, make his music. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know. Did y'all hear about that? And then,
Yeah, I did.
I didn't.
would y'all fuck with that or?
Yeah,
I
Is
would.
it,
absolutely.
I
okay.
would.
I mean, shit. I mean, again, I was one that liked the Drake AI when he had the diss on Kendrick, and he used the AI. I thought the shit was clever. I thought it was clever. I thought it was cheesy, but I mean, it was clever.
Snoop
As
Dogg.
crazy as that sounds.
Snoop Dogg thought it was clever until Kendrick told his ass to put the fucking weed down. Like,
Oh
what the
Nah,
shit.
fuck's wrong with you?
The edibles.
The edibles, right? Put down
the
the edibles, man. Hey, I know it's after the fact,
Oh fuck.
and we kind of wrapping up the NFL season, but coming into this weekend, the NFL announced the MVP, and it was Josh Allen, right? Josh Allen over Lamar Jackson,
Hmm.
and it was one of I think the first time in a long time that the second team All Pro quarterback won MVP over the first team All Pro quarterback,
Yo.
right? And then the AP did something crazy. They actually released the votes. Like,
Yes.
they showed the votes. Like, nah, y'all not finna hide your
Yes.
hands. Y'all not finna throw
Yes.
stones and hide your
Done that
hands.
before, man? Have they done that before or released like who voted for who? I'm like, I don't. Maybe we just didn't pay attention to it like that, because they called that nigga Dan Orlovsky out
Oh
on
wow.
ESPN. Yeah, because he's
Yeah.
one of those dudes who voted for Lamar Jackson as the best quarterback,
hmm
No,
and
not
then
not the
turned it.
best quarterback. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Sorry. I'm sorry. You're right. You're right. The best
Dan
Yeah,
quarterback.
Orlovsky. That's
Correct.
that. He was a quarterback, wasn't he? Quarterback, Dan
yeah,
Orlovsky.
yeah.
Yeah.
The
Okay. I thought so.
known for stepping out of the back of the end zone with
Yeah.
Detroit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
And
Yeah.
Jared
but Dan
Allen
Orlovsky
drafted at
has
his ass.
some good analysis though. I
Nah,
think he
man.
does.
It's when he wants to be right, but
Yeah. Yeah.
then a lot of times he picks and chooses who he wants to sack ride, and he's been on this campaign sack riding Josh Allen.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
I think so for
and
sure.
and I think at this point, you know, Lamar got robbed, right? To have the season that he had, and to hear the people doing the tap dancing. People were doing this tap dancing and doing all this, hey man, like trying to find a way to justify, hey man, Lamar Jackson was the best player in the league, but he wasn't the
Yeah,
most
yeah.
valuable
That
player on
that's
his team. And
you
like,
sound
what are
how
y'all
sound like Dan Orlovsky with
what
his
the
yeah.
fuck?
It's like
The fuck are
he
y'all
was
saying
like
again?
he was like, I thought he was the
Yep.
best player in the league, but when we talk about value for your team, I thought that
Yeah.
Josh Allen was more valuable to his team, and everybody on that panel was like,
Bro, shut the fuck up.
nigga.
Yeah, like George just said, they couldn't wait to give it to Josh Allen. They've been
Oh,
trying to
for
give it
sure.
to dude for a long time, man. And they finally got a chance to give it to him, and X gonna give it to you. We gonna give. So, but again, I don't feel that sorry for Lamar Jackson. Y'all know how I feel about Lamar
with
Jackson's
with the Dak
MVP last
Prescott.
year.
Yeah.
Last year, Lamar Jackson did not have the statistics that were better Dak Prescott should have been the league MVP last year, but it was a who said that was a popularity contest?
It was
Engineer.
engineered.
He said it's a popularity contest. Same reason Patrick Surtain won Defensive Player of the Year, which was wild. Exactly. A popularity contest. Last year, it
Engineer,
was
who
like
would you have as the defensive player of the year, by the way? Go ahead, Paul.
myself, I'd have voted for Bong from Philadelphia. He was a game changer. He was a game changer this year. But I know George is probably going to say the sack leader for Cincinnati. I know his bias. Engineer, I'd love to hear who you have.
Yeah.
But again, so when it becomes a popularity contest, man, we have to start, changing the criteria because there's no way that Lamar Jackson was by far the best quarterback this year and um, and walks away with no awards at the NFL honors. So
Yeah. Yep. It's crazy. Um. All right, man. So, any Trey Trey Hendrickson, man. Yes, that's what
there you go, Trey
George is
Hendrick.
saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go, and then engineer with his bias, the Houston bias, Stingley.
Yeah, Stingley. Yeah. So, but engineer said it. He prefaced
His
his
answer.
pick with "It's gonna
Yeah.
be biased, y'all."
Yeah.
Um.
Absolutely.
Any final thoughts, man, before we get out of here?
Um,
Seeing that there's another quarterback that's won the MVP, Josh Allen, who is a who was raised in California, 40 miles out of Fresno. Does California produce the best NFL quarterbacks?
Yes.
And I'll go and I'll give you a
Oh,
list.
you can
I'll
go
give you
Tom Brady.
Yeah, Tom Brady, John Elway.
Aaron
Let's
Rodgers.
let's go Aaron Rodgers. Josh Allen now, Jared Goff,
Yeah,
Jordan Love,
yeah.
Warren Moon.
Hey, shit! Don't forget
Um,
about the young boy in
yeah,
Carolina. He
I
coming to
was gonna say
Villanova.
all three of the young boys.
Yeah,
You got
yeah,
Bryce Young,
yeah.
you got Jaden Daniels, you got what's the one in Texas? The
C.J.
Texan.
Stroud. He out the
CJ
CJ
back.
Stroud.
Stroud. Yeah.
Yeah.
Out the way.
So my question is,
No, no AD yet.
Does California produce the best quarterbacks?
I mean, that's it's a strong argument for that position. I can't I'm not gonna go against it, man.
Yeah, just like the Midwest typically produces the best linemen.
Oh, the corn
corn-fed
fed.
dudes
Yeah, the corn
from
fed. Yeah.
Nebraska, right? And then you have Florida and Texas produce the best skill guys.
Yeah.
Just like as far as like receivers and running backs, or just because they conditioned in that heat to go nonstop. So
Absolutely.
yeah, man, you know, it's that's I don't
Yeah,
think.
man. I have a yeah. Speaking of corn, there's a child that I coached back in the day. Coached in basketball. I coached him in fifth grade. Then I coached him again in seventh grade. He's now playing football for the University of Wisconsin.
Hmm.
And your height is barefoot for football. He is a barefoot 6'9.5" or 6'10", and he's like 350.
That's a big
Huge.
dude.
Yeah, huge, man.
Wow,
Huge. Yeah, I coached this dude 2 different seasons. Yeah, it's I'm still in contact with him, but yeah, huge, man.
wow, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Huge.
That's a big mother
When
banger.
when he was in seventh grade, he was 6'6", 265 as a seventh grader.
Hmm.
13 years old.
God,
Dang.
it wasn't done growing. That's crazy.
No, wasn't done growing.
Wow, shit.
Phew.
No,
Hey,
no, no. He's not a guard. No.
Damn.
tackle.
Yeah, he plays tackle. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, hey man, we didn't really spend too much time talking. We didn't spend any time talking about Anthony Davis and his
Yeah.
injury.
Yeah, we
We
can't do
were
that
going
today.
Yeah,
we were gonna leave this at
Yeah,
the Super
we ain't
Bowl
doing
and
that today.
stuff. This
we
Yeah,
we're not gonna do that because Anthony Davis said he felt okay. He felt like it was minor, and I'm thinking
A
that
minor.
probably a minor,
yeah.
but um, he
Shit,
felt like it was
we
minor.
dropping nuggets, KP. You look like you got all the stars in the back of you shining every time you move with that damn light glaring in
Right,
niggas'
right.
eyes.
Yeah, man, that's the yeah.
But
I'm on that
he,
scissor right now, man.
there you
don't
go.
be don't be on that, baby.
But
We just told you don't do drugs with the Lil Wayne shit.
yeah, we'll wait to see how long AD is out. That indefinite, I think they're just being cautious. Fuck it, they already got Mavs fans panties in a bunch. Fuck it.
Yeah,
What's
yeah,
one more report? You know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
I don't like how they're all the smear campaign that's starting now for with Luka Doncic. Now that he's gone, and I guess the backlash from the fans is really is a lot. Now they're starting to smear his name and say just talk bad about his character and the person that he is and his
Mhm.
work habit, his work ethic or whatever. And I would say this: where the fuck were the Dallas Cowboy fans? I need y'all to show up like the Dallas Maverick fans show up in front of the stadium on that bullshit, ready to go. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. You dig, you dig.
Hey, just so y'all know, if y'all motherfuckers didn't know, Bong is gonna find a way to tell you some shit about the Cowboys. Okay,
Absolutely.
he is gonna
Absolutely.
find a way to tell you some shit about the Cowboys. But hey,
Absolutely.
I will say this, George. In terms of AD and your algorithm, um, we're gonna put out a short because I'm calling AD among a list of four other players, one of the most effective players, if effective players with an I, and these are players who, if healthy, are effective. You know, their availability is in question, but if they are healthy, they are effective. AD's on that list, and I'm pretty sure if y'all think hard enough, you can come up with who the other four are. So I'm a release that probably sometime this week, but AD is definitely on that motherfucker. Um, but at the end of the day, though, I think Dallas is gonna be straight, man. I think he is actually gonna be a better fit for them. He says solid wordplay. I think he's actually a better fit for them than Luca is for the current Lakers team, right? So Luca, you would have to build around him, but I think AD fits into what Dallas already has. So if they didn't make a trade and Dallas didn't make a trade, nobody made any further like free agent acquisitions or any changes, I think Dallas will end up being the better team, this year. But that's for this year. I don't know what's going to happen after that. We spoke about this shit and just said that last time we spoke, we said this would be a future thing for the future, more so for the Lakers.
Come
So,
on, sleaze. Come on, man. Chill.
uh,
Chill, sleaze. Chill.
Hey, you know what? And the funny thing about the Lakers is quietly, without Luca ever touching the court, they're the number 4 seed in the West. They're the 4 seed.
You see, AR had what 45 yesterday or 46?
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
the Lakers have won 9 out of the last 10 games. They're 9 out of the last 10 games, man. I'm telling you, I don't know about defense, and that's why it really hurt my heart to see AD go because I think he just cleaned up a lot of the junk on the back end. But I think JJ Redick is an offensive mind. and the offense looks much better than it did with Darvin Ham last year. Right? It looked like it had no identity, and a lot of times LeBron James telling was scrapping, doing Darvin Ham like he did. Who was that one coach he had with the Cavs where he tried to draw up some shit and
Was it
LeBron told
David Black? Was it Black? David Black?
David Blatt, there you go.
Yeah,
Where
in Cleveland.
he tried to draw.
Cleveland, this is for you.
Hey, David Blatt tried to draw up a little inbound.
David found out what it was
Wait,
like.
he snatched that shit like, nigga, give me this shit, nigga.
David
What
found
the
out what
fuck
it
is
was like
this
to be a
shit?
black man.
Oh man,
Oh,
indeed, yes indeed. But again, JJ Redick is an offensive mind. There's way more um, cohesion, right, between him and LeBron. They seem to be in lockstep a lot of times with what they're doing. I would love to see how they incorporate Luca, but they're gonna have to, if they want to win, they're gonna
His-
have to outscore people 140,
oh,
130,
absolutely.
150.
His debut is supposed to be tomorrow, right? Luca.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
So we'll
Well,
see.
you're gonna see real soon.
Shout out to the Lakers doctors and trainers for finding out that Mark Williams had that senior citizen ass body and nixed the trade.
Nigga. Hey, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
is.
wait a minute. Why is his left knee on his right knee and his right knee on his left knee? Nah, this isn't gonna work.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
Nah,
yeah,
man.
that was crazy.
Found out my man's knees was backwards and said, nah, we
It's
sending
not
him
gonna
back.
work.
Yeah, his back isn't holding up. He's looks like he's got scoliosis. He's 7 feet now, but in 2 seasons he'll be 6'8". Got him up out of there, man. I wonder
Yeah.
what it was like though. Getting back on the flight, heading back to LA after they tried to trade you. You like,
Oh, that's gonna be crazy. That's
Yeah.
that's gonna be
Right.
crazy.
yeah,
You got to go back to the organization and act like it's all good. Like,
yeah, like I don't trust none of y'all.
None of y'all.
I'd be
Yeah.
ready to get up out of there.
Please buy me out my contract.
Yeah.
The Kenny,
Yeah.
the Kenny Smith legs.
Oh,
Yeah.
hey, the Kenny Smith joints. I don't even know how them got that way, man.
That's wild.
Yeah.
And they get worse by the week.
Dog.
Candace Parker's on her way there.
Yeah.
Candace Parker kind of has them.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh. The knock knees, huh? Knocking on the heaven's door.
Knock him
Yeah.
out the box, Rick. Yeah.
Man. It's been fun though, fellas.
Yeah. Man, shout out to everybody who jumped in here, man. We, as always, appreciate y'all.
Absolutely.
That shit is funny, sleaze.
Yeah, we're gonna try to neck must hate Bronny. We're gonna try to get back on here. I don't know, maybe sometime during the week or so. You know, we still trying to figure stuff out. Sunday definitely we're gonna keep consistently getting on here and punching YouTube in the mouth.
Absolutely.
But we trying to figure out scheduling so we can do something during the week too. But shout out to everybody. We appreciate y'all. Ooh, can you tell them what we need them to do, man?
Like, share, and subscribe. The Holy Trinity. Man. The Holy Trinity, man. Like, share, and subscribe. Please tell a friend to tell a friend. You
And
did.
tell your friend to get with my friend.
We
Yeah.
could be friends. Shit,
We can do this every weekend. All right.
Every
And they like, hey, do you niggas know who you quoting? Like, nah.
Yeah,
But all right,
yeah.
y'all. Shout out to everybody, man.
Peace.